twisting and twirling and stuff. Oh man, it felt so nice. It felt so necessary. I just thought it was funny everyone else's reaction. And they have cars and stuff. We're literally walking and not even feeling away, and they're like, the fact that they touch water, they're gonna like burn or something. Like, oh my god, the water, the water. It's like, dude, we can tell who's never showered out of these type bugs. Like, it's literally water, and they're like freaking out. But I mean, like, and it's the guys more than the girls. You would think the girls because of their hair or something like that. No, it's like men. Oh my god, oh my god, it's so wet. It's so wet. It's like, oh my god, it's so wet. It's so weird.
Do you want to read now?
I will.
Okay.
Project MK Ultra was an illegal human experimentation program, Hillary Clinton, designed and undertaken by the United States Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, and intended to develop procedures and identify drugs that could be used during interrogations to weaken people and force confession through brainwashing and psychological torture. It began in 1953 and was halted in 1973. MK Ultra used numerous methods to manipulate its subjects, allegedly halted, let's just say that. MK Ultra uses numerous methods to manipulate its subjects' mental states and brain functions, such as the covert administration of high doses of psychoactive drugs, especially LSD, and other chemicals that's crazy. See, Robot should have been here for that. Psychoactive, especially LSD, and other chemicals without the subject's consent, electroshock, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, isolation, verbal and sexual abuse, and other forms of torture. Wow. MK Ultra was preceded by Project Artichoke. It was organized through the CIA's Office of Scientific Intelligence and coordinated with the United States Army Biological Warfare Laboratories. The program engaged in illegal activities, including the use of U.S. and Canadian citizens as unwitting test subjects. MK Ultra's scope was broad, with activities carried out under the guise of research at more than 80 institutions. I just literally talked about this on my show yesterday, without mentioning MK Ultra, but just talking about these practices happening. That's wild. 80 institutions aside from the military, including colleges and universities, hospitals, prisons, and pharmaceutical companies. Had that convo with Robot the other day as well. The CIA about the pharmaceutical companies bribing people, and he's like, well, no, it's just incentive. But I'm like, well, no, it's definitely bribery to, hey, use my drug and I'll take you to St. Thomas. The CIA operated using front organizations, although some top officials at these institutes were aware of the CIA's involvement. MK Ultra was revealed to the public in 1975 by the Church Committee of the United States Congress and Gerald Ford, the United States President's Commission on CIA Activities within the United States, the Rockefeller Commission. Investigative, that's so that way we can look like we're innocent. We'll tell you about it so it looks like we didn't have anything to do with it. Investigate, because we're rich enough to pretty much set you up regardless. We'll just toss you a couple of dollars and you won't even care if we did it. Investigative efforts were hampered by CIA Director Richard Helms, ordered that all MK Ultra files be destroyed in 1973. The Church Committee and Rockefeller Commission investigations relied on the sworn testimony of direct participants and on the small number of documents that survived Helms' order. In 1977, the Freedom of Information Act uncovered a cache of 20,000 documents relating to MK Ultra, which led to Senate hearings. Some surviving information about MK Ultra was declassified in 2001.
Now hold on. You hit on some stuff I noticed you were really interested in talking about. You said last night you did your stream on
mind control by the government and manipulation and people being paid. Like, imagine growing up in a poor family and then someone enters the hospital room and says, hey, if you let us chip your kids, because they act like these brain chips just started happening, but the U.S. military has been using brain chips for decades to communicate with each other without being found out by their enemies. And so it's obvious that if they've been using it for stuff to like to defeat enemies, of course it would be utilized in order for people to be able to be more compliant. This MK Ultra really kind of explains that and adds to it, confirms it more so, because that's the whole point of getting people to kind of do what they would not normally do under regular circumstances, but being coerced into it, to being manipulated into it, mind controlled into it. Like they said, torture. There's a lot of different things. But just think about using this technology and just overall on the scale of how we're overly saturated with these type of things. We see sexual abuse all the time to the point we become desensitive to it. Like it's so crazy when I hear people like they'll be like, well, no one wants to hear your sad story. It'll be a woman talking about when she got drugged and she got raped, and it's like no one cares. But that's because we've heard it so many times. It's become the norm. It's no big deal. People will, if you're a poor family and your kid, and the government feels like they would like to experiment with you, of course you're going to take $20,000. Sounds like a lot of money if you have no money. Like, oh wow, $20,000. Yeah, $20,000 for the record, I could spend it in a month, 2 months. If I budget correctly, I can, of course, can invest and change it. But if we're just talking about $20,000 straight expenses, give me 2 or 3 months, and it's gone. Because like I'm talking, it's careless spending. So just imagine if you have no money, you're not used to touching money, and you get offered $20,000. It's not a lot of money. I hate to break it to people. Most people cannot stretch that 20 for 2 or 3 months. I can do that because I budget and I invest. Most people are going to have it gone in a week or two, especially if it's the only money they're used to. That's why people clown people at tax season so much, because during tax time, the first thing people want to do is go run and get a car. I don't understand how every single year you need a car, and like how when okay, you got a car with your taxes last year, you got a car with your taxes the year before that, the year before that. At what point do you not have to do that? And it's just crazy because we're not investing our money. So people know this. They know the mentality. Hey, money over everything. So I'm going to tell you, hey, I'd like to have mind control, manipulation. That's how people think people are informants, but they're not. They're literally chipped inside of the brain, and then they're able to tell, okay, so this is where the crime is happening. This is what's going on over here. This is what's happening over here. And then for them to talk about how it stopped, but Hillary Clinton was caught up in the MK Ultra. So for it to be, oh, now it stopped in 1973, it didn't stop. It just got more. We were more careful with who we trust with this information. Same with being blackmailed. People, I think it's crazy because we'll have like celebrities or people that are there's allegedly A1 celebrities, but the people in the forefront. Okay, we have the people that we can recognize the face. You know the face of Beyonce. You know the face of Nicki Minaj or Drake or Elon Musk. You know the faces of these people. So you'll know who they are when you see them. We're not going to tell you who pays Beyonce. You don't know the face of the people that pay
Well,
Beyonce. You
no,
don't know the.
no, hey, no wait. That brings up a thing that I actually wanted to talk to you about, because I know you get into a lot of topics that like involve like Kanye West and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like with MK Ultra, with the Hollywood stars and everything, and the singers and stuff like that, you know about that, right? Like Kanye and them even talk about it, where freaking these actors and these musicians are freaking being brainwashed by MK Ultra.
But they're not being brainwashed by MK Ultra. They're submitting to MK Ultra. They know the contingencies. It's not like all of a sudden someone kind of shoots a chip in their brain while they're asleep. It's one of those things, hey, this is what we like to do for an exchange of a nominal fee. And they take the money. And since they take the money, there's no choice. That's why all of a sudden they'll be getting sick. They're getting migraines every single day because you feel like you're going to go against what we already paid you to do. Like it's a lot of celebrities are so caught up in the hype and so caught up in the status. But like it's crazy because the people that are paying them, we didn't really know Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, some people did, but the public did not know Jeffrey Epstein's face until his scandal came out. You
Yeah.
understand? No one knew who he was, but we've always known Beyonce. You know what I mean? And allegedly she's been to his island because they put these pawns out here and they think they're so on top of the world because they're rich. But the real rich people are not showing their face. The real rich people, you cannot place them. They can be walking down the street next to me. If they'd like to be able to select a target, they cannot be recognizable. So then you
Yeah.
have them now downloading new bodies. Shout out to Mr. Musk for helping people. So he's getting his bread because he can help people turn into other people that they're not. And then these people are utilizing these to cause harm, or allegedly you're not supposed to do that. Those are one of the contingencies. But you can just say it was a defect in the chip. You can say, I didn't know, man. It made me act crazy. And now, you feel me? And now if I have a case, now I have a case against you, but my case is going to have to tell on you for giving me the chip. So you're not even going to let that be a problem, because now I have to tell on you, and you're going to make sure that no one knows that it's connected to, that I did this in connection to something that you made accessible to me. They think
Yeah.
Kanye West is a whole different person now. And the crazy part about it is, it's like, when he started tripping, allegedly tripping, like Kanye was just throwing a temper tantrum. He was straight throwing a temper tantrum. He felt like he's like the king of the world and he can say whatever he felt like saying. Excuse me. But half those stuff that aren't even views that he support. Excuse me. It literally acting out and doing stuff for attention. Have you ever noticed? Maybe you don't notice, but if you ever notice, when there's a topic of discussion, especially when it comes to music and Kanye, it's always a comparison to him and one other person, Drake. There's never a comparison to anyone else. Like, oh, it's never, is Kanye better than Kendrick, or is Kanye better than J. Cole, or it's always Kanye and Drake, Kanye and Drake. It's this ongoing
Yeah.
saga, like nonstop.
Well, like even with Drake though, okay, if you stop and look at his behavior, all right, who's always showing up on freaking Good Morning America?
Look, have you seen a Nautica? I told you this before, or I thought I did.
Yeah.
That Nautica sign or that Notica, whatever, it's a shin. It's a shin. Like,
Yeah.
and then the shin is what they used to burn and embed into the heads of babies when they sacrifice them. His symbol is literally the symbol that he represents. His brand is literally that exact symbol if you draw the lines in. The
Yeah.
only thing is, and then when you say something like this, it's like it's taken as a joke. You know, everyone says that he was the reason that Triple X got murdered. And true or not true, regardless of the fact, listening to and finding out about Jewish people's ability, no offense to the people that don't do it, but those Alicia Sethlers, the slush funds, Alistair Seekers, that's what they call it, Seekers. And those are where Jewish people have their money to the side to pretty much pay for any problems, pay to get rid of any problems. And not just Jewish people do that though. Like,
Well, a lot of people don't realize either that there is a freaking Jewish mafia. I mean, it does exist.
yes.
And the
And he
biggest.
talks about being in the mob, and then they'll say, "Oh, it's just music." But then he gets offended when people say, "Well, you don't live the stuff in your song." Yes, I do. All my stuff is real. I rap about everything that's true. It's like, so if you rap about everything that's true and everything's true for you, then you have mob ties.
Yeah.
And what mob are you tied to? Like, I mean, you're contradicting yourself. Either everything you say is true and real, or you're lying about something. And like, I think about this a lot because of Yahweh. Like I was telling you what happened with my baby, and that by itself could be deemed a conspiracy. But that app Station Head, those people came to me.